What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Work in Progress channel. I'm Drew Somerville.
And I'm Chad Savage.
And this week we've got something a little different for you. We've talked a bit in the past about how your personal perspective on the world and personal style matter a lot more than the gear you use for photography. And so to sort of make our point for us, we decided to plan and produce and do a photo shoot together so that we can show you that even though we are shooting in the exact same location, exact same lighting, and with very similar cameras and gear, that the final images we make are totally different.
Yeah.
For this shoot, we decided we both really love soccer, and we love the fashion kit reveals they do over in Europe. They're so cool. So we wanted to put our own twist on that. So we pulled a bunch of vintage soccer kits and gear and planned a shoot with a very basic mood board that we put in together.
Yeah, so a lot of these have been pulled from shoots I've done in the past, some other mood boards, that we've had with similar styles and direction. And so that just kind of gave us a little bit of an idea of what we're looking for, the vibe we're going for, kind of what we'll go into in terms of what we looked for actually out on location in terms of like the lighting and the color palette and sort of the details and things that we kind of found as we went along.
Yeah, so we decided we wanted to do hard, contrasty, moody lighting.
Yeah.
We wanted the colors to pop, so we picked palettes that are complementary but not quite monochromatic.
Yeah.
And we styled it a mix of, I don't know, like modern street style.
Streetwear, I think, would be the best way.
Yeah.
European, very European. Even the locations we picked were everything from the mood board was all done in Europe, maybe a few in South America, but very European look. Charleston has a lot of that, and the historical portions of downtown. So we kind of lend ourselves to that style.
Yeah, and so we knew we wanted to do a mix of sort of featuring the jerseys. We wanted some broader fashion, lifestyle-y type shots that would fit into our current portfolios. And we wanted some details showing the ball and sort of various pieces of the kits that we were shooting. So the first two images we're going to talk about are our takes on sort of a gear detail, soccer ball detail shots. I'm going to throw those up on the screen for you now, side by side here. So for my shot, one of the models showed up with these really sick silver Adidas shoes. She's got some brown pants, brown Argyle socks, and the shoes pop. And with the white soccer ball, I thought that was just a really cool combo. And the street we were shooting on for this had this really nice, hard afternoon light. So I knew I wanted it to be very contrasty. I wanted the ball to be the brightest part of the frame. So I positioned the model in the street, right in a nice hot spot, surrounded by shadows, and had her play around just with her foot on the ball. I really liked the pattern of her socks, and like the monochromatic tones and browns that were in the image really helped the silver shoes and the white ball to just pop. And that was the image that I ended up making. And next we've got Chad's image here.
Yeah, and so this one kind of similar. We're doing a lot with this kind of hard light. The way this light sort of just slashed across this building was a cool little line that leads into the ball as well as the rest of the kit, but also helped frame it. And I think that hard shadows with that sort of bright highlight of the wall helped let the kit pop, and also the ball kind of just gives it a little bit of more personality, something to play with. It gives its hands something to do. So I think we both used the ball in a similar way as a prop, but used the ball more as a prop to showcase the rest of the scene, whether that was the shoes for Drew's shot or the top for mine. And it kind of just gave us a way to highlight a cool detail without it being fully the portrait. And I think the hard light that we use there, that contrast helps like really dial it into one specific detail we're trying to showcase.
Yeah, and you'll notice, like we said, we wanted to feature a lot of hard, moody lighting. So both of these images have very deep shadows, very poppy colors. Chad played a little bit more with contrasting colors. Mine's a little more monochromatic here. And, I guess that's the point, is in the same setting, we planned this together. We're shooting it at the exact same time of day. We managed to make two very different images out of that. And for all of these, like he shoots Canon, I shoot Sony, but we're both using, mirrorless cameras and a focal length of like, I think almost all of these are at 70 millimeters. So same focal length, same lighting, same time of day, two very different results because we interpreted it differently. And that's what's so cool about photography is, you get to put your own vision out there, and no matter what you're shooting, your personality is going to come through.
Right. And I think it's cool with these details. The one that Drew shot was something I just didn't even see. We turned in the middle of the shoot, shows me the back of the camera, and it's like, oh, wow, like, how are you seeing this, and vice versa. So it is cool to see the little things that your perspective is going to catch relative to other photographers.
Yeah. And so on this next shot, we decided to shoot the same model on the same street. These two images were shot within, 30, 40 feet of each other. It was like I shot at one house, he shot at the house next door. We both featured harder light, but we interpreted the color story and the posing very, very differently.
Yeah.
I found this really cool little black door that just had this beautiful sliver of light hitting it. Decided to position the model sitting on those stairs, framed up by the black door, kind of looking at the camera, leaned over. It kind of makes this really nice frame within a frame thing that we've got going on. And the wall really matched her skin tones, which I thought was really cool. So we've got a very monochromatic image again, but with this bright pop of red from the jersey that really draws your eye. And 2 seconds later, Chad made this image right next to it. That's totally different and totally him.
Yeah. And so a lot of kind of what I was talking about earlier, that sort of European look and vibe, obviously Charleston, based off these two images, I think is pretty apparent how much of that European sort of distinct look you can find around Charleston. And so these are cool in that they're so very different, but there's still a lot of similarities in that clearly we had the same direction, but they came out in completely different fashions. So I used this brick wall, and I thought that the brick and the white and sort of the red of this door just looked great with her red top. The hard shadows kind of like cast across her face and on her body. It sort of helps in a similar fashion how Drew has all the hard light and that pop of the red sort of draws your eye into the top and gives that the point of focus. But I think the way we nailed that sort of European look with the same idea, but so very different, is kind of the perfect example of how our visions and our direction can be in the same way, but have a very distinct look still.
Yeah, and again, shot literally at the same time, within 5 minutes of each other on the exact same street, and the way we interpreted that was totally different. Mm-hmm. For this next shot, we decided to take one. We had a few models with us. We each grabbed a model and shot these simultaneously. For this shot, we wanted to show a more relaxed, not quite lifestyle, but a little more of a loungy vibe, less posed, more organic. I found this really cool doorway again, and it just gave me like a picture of, those classic, almost like stoop kid shots you'll see out of New York. So I wanted the model to be really relaxed, loungy, almost like sleepy / not super present in camera, just so you're not quite as drawn to her face in it. So it's got similar vibes, it's got that really nice, hard winter light going on. And I just had her lean up against the door, get really, really relaxed, and framed it up. We've still got this semi-monochromatic color scheme going on. She's got a nice beige jersey on that really matched the walls. Her brown pants were really working with the door for me. And the way the light just cuts across her face and makes shadows out of her hair, I really, really loved. And at the exact same time, Chad was shooting this shot across the street with a whole different color palette, whole different vibe.
Yeah, and so this one, probably one of the wider shots of mine that we'll showcase. And I mean, these two, obviously different models, but very different looks and feels on these. Obviously, Drew has a little bit more of that kind of harder contrast to your light that we're looking at. Mine is maybe a little bit softer because I wanted to show some of the highlights that were falling on this wall behind the model and sort of let them frame him in a way. And I used a pretty blank white wall in order to help that bright yellow top pop. We get a little bit of the corner in the curve, and it just gives it that same feel, that we're both looking for, of like lounging, a little more lifestyle, a little more opened up. You can kind of see what's surrounding the model as opposed to some of the tighter shots from some of the other portions of the shoot. And,
just to reiterate, I'm going to say this every time, but we shot these at the exact same time.
Yeah.
I was on one side of the street, he was on the other. He picked the shade side, I picked the sunny side. And the images look completely different. Mm-hmm. Next up, we decided to shoot the exact same window, once again with two different models. So this is literally 5 minutes apart, exact same light, exact same scene. I took our female model, Safa, and had her just kind of lean up against the wall, There's this really nice bright cut of light coming in that just hits her face and the jersey and creates a little highlight on the right side of the frame while the rest of her sort of falls into shadow that I love. Her gold belt buckle is really popping with like that gold yellow tone on the wall. Her skin tones match so well to this scene again, and then that blue jersey just pops so nice and hard. And I ended up with this really contrasty, cool, poppy image that I got here. And then 2 seconds after that, Chad shot this.
In the same exact spot. Different model, same thing, same spot. Just the vision that we had for how we're going to use the model in that spot, I think is really cool. It's so different, but we're obviously using the exact same thing. I shot this model up. This is probably my favorite shot. There's 1 or 2 others that's between the few of them, but I just really like the way he still has that kind of like loungy street look. The white just helps that green pop on his top, the way that the sort of like yellow, that sort of tan yellow frame around that window goes with just the rest of his outfit, the white and the tan on his pants and his hat. I think that one, again, like I said, probably one of my favorite ones, but I also like how this was the exact same spot. Only thing that was different was the models, and these were taken within 5 minutes of each other. And how just distinctly different these two are is so cool. Arguably some of my favorite ones Drew had of this one with the model right here. He has that pop of the blue, as opposed to mine's like a little bit more filled in the shadows, and kind of using some of that window frame from behind him as like a bounce. The way we had this same vision, same spot, everything, and they came out with completely different vibes, I think is probably one of our better examples to showcase how we can shoot the same thing and come up with very different visions in the end.
Yeah, it's and you know, our post-processing styles play a little bit into that as well. But even without that, the way that we decided to work with the lighting here, we just interpret it very differently, and we both made these super cool, strong images that feel like us in the same spot. And I love that we can show that difference. For the next shot, we took our model Abdul. He had this really cool yellow Carlsberg jersey. And we wanted to do sort of a complementary color scheme featuring just a solo portrait of him.
Yeah.
So for mine, these were shot I shot on one side of the street in a driveway. Chad shot on the other side of the street on some steps that we found. So mine, I found this really cool driveway with this like lush greenery in the back. And I put Abdul right in the middle there and just had this nice soft light falling on him with the back being super contrasty. I thought the yellows and the greens really worked off each other really well. And I got this really nice vertical full frame portrait of him just staring right into the camera. Got a lot of contrast, some nice specular highlights in the background. The jersey pops really well with the rest of the greenery, and really happy about that. And then here's Chad's interpretation of the same brief.
Yeah, and so similar, we wanted to have complementary colors, the greens and the yellows, with the yellow of the top and the greens on his shoes. And I sort of I saw this bush across the street, sort of wanted to get the model really up and in it and use that to frame him with the same color as the top he had on. And I think it's really cool and interesting the way that we both obviously used greens and yellows in the environment around us, and also framed him in a different manner. So like, obviously Drew's have a lot of the greens behind him and the yellow of like the fall foliage, like leaves on the floor. So he still has that same green and yellow in a totally different manner, whereas mine are framed around him on the bush. So I think the way we have gone about showcasing the same color palette with the same model is so interesting in this.
We use the exact same lighting. This is all just available natural light.
Yeah.
No flashes. We didn't even use a bounce. We decided to keep it super minimal for all of this and just work with what nature gave us. And we ended up with these really cool images that we both love and show the differences in our personal style.
Yeah.
And so on that note, peace.